talking. You should hear it all. Turn that down, then you got to switch to this over here so it's not slurry. No, that's slurry. This is not slurry. This is not slurry. And then you got to pop over here and you got to say, hey man, why don't you turn it on the old picture show there? And hello, good morning all. Good morning. Let me see if I can get this right. I need practice at this. Hang on a second. I'm going to put this around here like this. I'm sure I'm doing this wrong, Mel, but I'm trying to do this the best I can. Let's see here. You want to find the sacred temple entrance? Do you want to find where the secret is? Actually, I was trying to look fancy because I have a new office. New office. Been working my butt off around the place to get a new office going there. Got a lot of mail on the desk there. That's just going to be the back of the wall. Let's see. There's the wall. And if we go over here. And hello. And you see, got a new desk. Got some new paint going on. Got, let's see. Got rid of the closet. You guys remember the closet that used to be here? Used to be a closet here. Got rid of that. James, you're lowering the value of your house. Don't you understand that the definition of a room is it has to have a closet, James? James, you've destroyed the equity of your home, James, by removing the closet. James, why'd you do that? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do that, James? I'm not muted, right? Hello, everyone. Cool. You making it the way you want? Yep, making it the way I want. I've always done that. I've done that with my car. I've always found having to drive a rental car is a kind of a torture. Um, it's like having a rental horse. Who the fuck wants a rental horse? I mean, that you're going to bond with the horse. What? Why the hell would you get into an agreement to rent a horse, guys? It's just setting yourself up for just a giant breakup and a letdown the whole time. And do you really think that that horse is fully committed to you? I mean, horses are great, but come on. He fucking knows. He knows. He knows who scrubs him. He knows who shovels his dung, right? And it's not you. You know, Boyd Buchanan. I was friends with Dusty, a horse named Dusty. He was a white horse with speckled spots. Looked like that ice cream that I believe is called chocolate chip, but then I think maybe that's a mint color, and this was definitely a gray-white horse. Yeah, Dusty would walk around a pond on a trail, and I got to know Dusty every day, or every day I would come to camp, because I was only there at camp. I wasn't taking care of Dusty. I wasn't feeding Dusty. I wasn't consoling Dusty in the middle of a thunderstorm, right? I wasn't rushing out to the barn to be like, Dusty, you okay? You read your story, buddy? Right? I wasn't there. But every morning I claimed Dusty was mine, and I got on this rental horse, right? This is the entire concept of you've been through the desert with a horse with no name. This is the essence of what that conversation means. And you walk around the pond thinking the whole time that you are the fledgling avatar of this horse. You are the speaker. You are the main crux of it all, right? And what does Dusty do? He decides, I'm thirsty. And so Dusty inclines down to about a 35-degree angle to lean down and to drink from the pond. And me, I'm up on my high horse. And Dusty does a 35-degree inclination, and I go head first and fall into the water. I'm 7, 8, I don't know. This is in the time where adults weren't really a requirement for you to just engage. That, I kid you not, they would literally send me out on a wild horse. Okay, I realize this is Dusty. He's not exactly the wildest horse in the world, but sending me out on an autonomous horse. If you think about it now, it's like, I bet you that place would get sued like in a heartbeat. But they would send children, 7-year-olds, out alone on a meandering horse, hoping that the horse would just make 3 right turns and come back to the manger, right, to the stall. Of course, Dusty's on 180 from where the manger is. He decides to drink a water. I go splashing in the water. I am automatically trying to tell Dusty, hey, man, it's okay. I know that it was an accident. I'm not yet offended by Dusty. I understand he needed to drink, and I felt that I sort of failed him as a cowboy rider. The Long Ranger, right, which I was trying to channel that archetype, had failed. This was not Silver's fault. I was bonded to Silver. And I looked up, and fucking Dusty, what does he do? He just starts walking back to the barn. He doesn't stop. He's not like, oh, are you okay? Or, hey, man, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Or hey, we're going to learn from this lesson. We need to learn to like grip with your ankles more, really, and really get a hold of that horn on the saddle, right? None of that. This was all about Dusty was like, yeah, guess I'm going to go back to the barn now. I don't think Dusty even knew I was on him. I think that you could have put a sack of potatoes on Dusty, and that's probably the equivalent to how much bonding he felt that he had with me. It's just a thought. Now, at the time, I was not willing to see this. I was not willing to accept this truth. The fact is that Dusty was the most dilating thing I could ever imagine during that summer. It was the most beautiful thing that I couldn't believe this was happening. That I was put on a horse alone to wander through the desert. And it wasn't even a desert. There was like water all over the place, which is why Dusty got thirsty. So, anyway. Yeah, it's good to get kicked off a horse. It's very helpful. It's been a busy week around here, besides the renovations that you see. Besides the renovations that you don't see, there's actually a lot more. Let's see, it's snowing outside. It's a beautiful day. I wonder if I can. Does this work? This work? This might work. Hey, we'll just see. See if I can show you the video capture. And then we do N50, right? And then if this works. No, I was afraid of that. That's okay. Oh, here's one. No, that's not it either. But yeah, it's snowing here. It's a pretty day. This is the beginning of one of the busiest weekends here on the mountain, ML King weekend. This what I'm about to say is going to sound really racist, but it's just ironic to me. I live on this ski mountain. There's only 300 people that live here full time. In the winter time, this population increases to 10,000. And I would be remiss if I was not to tell you that almost everyone that comes skiing is white. It's just something that I notice a lot. It's not across the board. There's certainly sometimes it's not the case, but overwhelmingly more white people send to ski. In fact, we have a lot more summer, if you want to use the word diversity, as if that was a word that hasn't just been like mouth screwed in the back of a 7-Eleven for so long. We have more of that in the summer. And this weekend is ML King weekend. I just find this ironic that ML King weekend is the busiest ski weekend in the world. And I think it could be white guilt driving this Mecca, this pilgrimage. We must go pay homage to ML King by going winter snow skiing. And I don't know exactly how that logic works, but it just seems to be something that's that happens. And you know, do with that what you will. Judge me as needed. That's fine. It's just I just think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting. Today is Friday the 13th. And I am really pumped that it is the first time this year that High Magick will be reconvening. I encourage you all to subscribe to that channel. It is hosted by Sarcastic, Warlohak, and myself. And it's a show that we do on a separate channel. It's a radio show, and it's about High Magick. And I cannot think of a better topic to bring us back to the fire than Friday the 13th. I'm also under the impression that our good friend Mo is going to join us too tonight, which leads me to a temporary segue. Before the segue begins, I would like to encourage you all to look in the chat, and you will see that the wonderful Mared Moth has passed out a lovely link for each of you to you get a link, and you get a link, and you get a link, and that is to High Magick channel. Some of you are new, and you're looking in the chat for Mared Moth, and you don't see Mared Moth. And I just need you to know that I am not very nice to Shit Moth. I will not actually call her by her proper name. I've thought about this. I've laid in bed at night going, damn, why are you so cruel, James? Why you not call Shit Moth Shit Moth? How come you not respect her sovereignty, right? And I just find myself, she is too beautiful of a moth to inherit that kind of word. So I'm trying to respect her as much as I possibly can, but as close as I can is to put that beautiful French twist on it and call it Mared Moth. So if anyone's ever been wondering what the fuck is that all about, now you know. It's always about that. And let me know if you think that that's wrong of me. If you think that if I truly loved her, that I would call her Shit Moth. Let me know, because this is something I struggle with. It's vitriol. I want to remind everyone that the Hippocratic Oath is do no harm. And I find this completely in opposition to vitriol. And I mentioned this in Telegram, but it really hit me like a ton of bricks, because most of our medicine is about do no harm. And we spoke a little bit about this with Mo last night. Great stream last night. I really encourage you guys to do that. In fact, let's take a moment now, if we can, and do a little subscribing, right? Let's subscribe to High Magick channel, and let's subscribe to Mo's channel. And the lovely Mared Moth is giving you a free link. Just give her time. There we go. And you can go there if you're wondering who that is. It's there. It is. Thank you, Mared Moth. And please go there and subscribe to Mo's channel. I think that'd be a lovely, lovely little thank you for him. And thank you very much. And so, if you want to check out that talk, please do. It was Mo's first interview. And it went really good. We had just a little bit of technical hiccups. However, I'm pretty sure that the stream is actually still pretty fluid. People in the comments might be able to tell you more because I actually haven't listened to the stream as much as I was just in the conversation. But it was a really great talk, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these talks with Mo. So if you would do me a favor, we'll just take a quick moment. You can click on that subscribe link. You can also subscribe to High Magick tonight. And since we're talking about it, I don't know why it worked out this way. It was really great, but we had a lot of interviews this week. We meaning me. I turn myself into Elohim when I'm on the air. I refer to myself in the plural. It's part of the litany of witness that comes at me from all directions, and I just do my best to soak it in. Speaking of soaking it in, really cool thing happened last night. I'm going to have to tell you in a generic way because it was a one-on-one. Someone told me this in a one-on-one setting. They didn't say this is a secret, but I'm not going to use their name because I want you to know how important this is. Someone called me last night. They were in a room of intimidating people. When I say intimidating people, I mean people that they look up to, that they want to adopt a posture from. And this person, who is a giant in their own right, was visibly shaken by the amperage of someone else they met in this room. They met them in this room, this cocktail party. They met them, and this person, my friend who called me, felt the amperage of having that field. They were able to, it's not just about being in the room with someone. It's about being in the room with someone and noticing that you are on their level. And we think of ourselves on levels. I think most of you would probably feel this way about a certain musician. Just pick your favorite. Mine's Dylan, but I'm talking about our own Dylan here, not Bob Dylan. But that when you get around energy that you find really pleasing or really optimistic or something that you really want to emulate, if you get too close to that energy, you notice that you are that energy. And when you notice that you are that energy, it can feel intimidating. And this is why I really believe what I say about victimhood is real, that the Victimhood Olympics is real precisely for this very reason. You're sitting next to, you're standing in awe of your biggest hero. And the fact that you are actually in the presence of your hero, and your hero has your witness and you have your hero's witness, that does put you on the same level as them. You have no choice. You regulate into the amount of amperage they pull in, and it intimidates you. That's how it feels. Feels like intimidation. Even James True, who is not even a B celebrity, right? Like if you look at my audience draw, if you were to, I wouldn't even have an IMDb page. And I say this on purpose because even someone with a lower letter like myself on the, say, celebrity scale, even I have instances where I will meet people, where I will encounter and feel them doing that to me. I'm used to feeling that way about other people. But I've had people come up to me at a fire and ask, "Can I touch you?" And they're like being sincere. And it's gross. It flips me out. It's really weird. But behind that, this person is in the presence of energy that they did not feel worthy of having. Now, you can bitch at yourself about that. You can denigrate yourself for that and say, "Oh, I didn't feel worthy. It must be because I'm a slave or I'm this." And all those things are fine. I have no problem with you keeping yourself a hyena. But I want you to realize that the very first time you get around someone that you look up to and you emulate, if you start to feel intimidated by them, that is literally the energy of regulation. You two are regulating to each other. They are literally giving you plasma right now. They're giving you, oh my God, I said plasma. So I've been watching all these negative comments lately over from the wonderful interviews I did with Chad and even that last one with Howdy. And so many people are so upset by I think it's the word plasma. I legit think people are like freaking out because I use the word plasma. And as soon as I say plasma, they say gobbledygook, word salad. James is serving word salad at his buffet. And well, actually salad's pretty fucking nutritious. James is serving word salad. Actually, salad's like, I mean, if you went to like a Ryan Steakhouse and they didn't have salad, you sort of be like, what the fuck's wrong with this salad bar? But James is just talking word salad. He's just throwing things that are nutritious and crunchy and full of fiber, yet also high in water content. And that all those textures are used to stimulate digestion in our system. That James is serving word salad. And we are not salad eaters. We drink things. We puncture things with a straw that has a sharp end because it's cut at an angle by an industrial cutter, and it's called Capri Sun. And if you poke it right in the silver dot, right there, right in that silver dot, just poke it. Just poke it back and forth, and you go back and forth like a waterbed. Just a Jewish girl on a waterbed, just sloshing back and forth, and you just poke it. I've totally forgot what I was talking about. Plasma, New Agers. Oh fuck, what was I talking about? I started thinking about this Jewish girl. That threw me off. And I said pounded this morning, and no, I just meant that like my psychic spirit. I was just such a horn dog. It just, God, it was just so. It was such a difficult thing to break out of. We're on the basement floor. There was like total noise suppression. It just, what do you want to do, James? You want to go to Econ 101? Or do you want to listen to this chick moan if you do things to her on a waterbed? Which of these, James, is going to better stimulate you as a growing, budding human who's finding his way in the world? Econ 101 or Capri Sun with a Jewish girl in a waterbed? I mean, it's... Yeah, and you know, you might argue, well, does the Jewish thing make it better or worse? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. What do you think kept me there? Because the whole time you're like, God, she's Jewish. What does that mean? What does this mean? And the whole time she thought I was Jewish. I'm getting off on a long story. Oh yeah. So you're in this room with this intimidated person, and the regulation you feel, that nervous energy that you feel going back and forth, right? All that energy that you feel is you regulating to their amperage. I want you to realize this should be tiring for you. This should feel intimidating for you. C, this should feel scary for you. If it doesn't feel tiring, intimidating, and scary, you are not regulating up to a power you've never been at. You are reaching a hertz that you've never reached before. Hertz is the opposite of do no harm. Hertz is the opposite of do no harm. What is vitriol but hertz? What is hertz but vitriol? The more vitriol you can maintain, the more hertz you will not feel. The more hertz you will not feel. You will feel no hertz once you feel the vitriol. If you feel the vitriol, you will feel no more hertz. There will be no more hertz. You will only have hertz, right? And that's hertz, H-E-R-T-Z, right? T-Z, Tazali, the rib, the second part of Adam, her, right? Jewish girl, hertz. It's all right there. It's all right there. Jewish plasma bed. You're damn right, old Nick. Set it on fire. Set it on fire. James, you're serving word salad because you said the word plasma. James, plasma is a new age concept. Can we have old age concepts, James? James, you're new age, which means I like the old age. You know, Back when everything was materialism and everyone was doing cocaine and like we were just like paying taxes and like just like licking each other's ass and asking for a cubicle. James, you're too new age. You're the one that's like, you want something word salad. You want word salad, James. You want word salad. Yeah. Yeah. Are you asking if I'm circumcised? Here's the thing, DePuma. I've been circumcised at least 19 times. At first, I thought it was kind of a cool trick, but then I noticed, I don't even know how to make money with this thing. I used to travel. I did a traveling lunar circumcision trick where I dressed up in a moon costume and I do this thing where you'd circumcise me on the moon. It was a lunar Jewish circumcision. It was a Schwitz, Auschwitz, Anyway, we're getting into some territory here. But yeah, I was circumcised every month, Jacoby. It was really weird. Yeah, now I'm tossing the word salad. I totally am. So, anyway, well, there's a lot of fun here in the chat. This is great. We got all kinds of things. So, but to get back to the point. Oh, by the way, if any of you came here looking for a point, you have come to the wrong hobo bar, my friends. That is not what we're doing here. We are not here to be making points, all right? I told you in the description. What did I say in the description? What did I tell you? I told you that. This one time at German circumcision camp, this one time. So if you are going to acclimate to this new vibration, it's going to feel intimidating. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel, I forget the other word, but in a sense, like you didn't own it, like it doesn't belong to you. And those feelings of intimidation are your first invitation out of the field. Did you hear what I said? It's your first invitation out of the field. If you remove all of the Jewish sex jokes, this is actually a pretty decent topic I'm talking about. You're just going to have to really handpick it. It's like a salad, right? Where you're like, I don't want anchovies in this salad, right? But, first of all, don't put anchovies in your salad. Some of you guys are like, oh, I'm so cool because I like anchovies. And it's like, yeah, we get it, But if you really liked anchovies when no one was the fuck around, then you'd eat anchovies, okay? All this waiting until people are there and then pulling out your magical anchovies and being like, oh, if you don't mind, I like anchovies. Oh, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't like to talk about it. See my anchovies? I don't like to talk about it though, but here it is. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You guys are looking around. Which one of us said anchovies? Hey, which one of you said anchovies? Was it you? Right? All right. So there's your first. See, we're getting back into the good stuff here. There's your first invitation to leave the field. This feels intimidating, right? You're in the room with your insert hero here. Who's mine? Berkeley Breathed. Actual name. Not making that up. Dude, just like since I was a little boy, just everything that guy did with his pencil and his pen, I just absolutely fell in love with. I could not believe that there was a person out there that can draw like that guy and can emote in such a small square as that guy. Just truly amazing guy. So if I was to meet Berkeley, I would feel intimidated. I would feel almost ashamed. I'd feel embarrassed. I would feel all those things. And those feelings would be my capacitor saying, this is overload. We are not used to regulating, meaning we are not used to equating ourselves close to someone in which we see as a hero. What really is hero but a higher hertz? You call the heroes in your life those that have a higher vibration than you. That's really all it is. So the word hero really is just an amping. It's showing you where you are and where someone else is in relation to how you hold yourself and how you think, listen to that, how you think they hold themselves. Or how you believe they hold themselves. Sorry, that's even better. This is foul. We don't say think, we say believe. And that hanging out with that person gives you an opportunity to try on their hertz. Berkeley breathed, 333 megahertz, easy. Dude just fucking pumping it. And he's a liberal, go figure. But his art is just incredible. And when he's up there and little old me comes up, having survived my fall in the water from Dusty, right? Which, hey, that's how I gained a lot of hertz. I gained a lot of hertz that day, you know? Me and Dusty changed our entire relationship from that point. I started empathizing Dusty more. I think it was after that moment that I started to realize that Dusty was old as fuck. He was older than dust. Really was. That horse was fucking old. And I don't even think that he really knew a lot about what was going on. I empathized him more because of the vitriol he gave me. What is the Hippocratic Oath? Do no harm. Dusty did nothing but harm me with medicine. Doesn't have to be malicious, does it? No. Doesn't matter. Let's stop pretending that we are only responsible for things that we intend to do. Let's stop pretending that we are not responsible for things that we did not intend to do. Let's own all of our energy, okay? Let's do that now. Breathe in, own all your energy, and breathe out to accept the truth. It's all yours, baby. It's all yours. Even your mood, even your scapegoat, even your story of the narcissist. It's all you. It's all yours. This is all your energy. Take it like a Dusty, right? So, the longer you sit in this field, the longer you work your capacitor muscle, the more your capacitor muscle is used to holding something close to 333 hertz. When I see Berkeley breathed, if he's at 333 hertz and I'm at 77 hertz and the two of us meet, we are going to regulate. Do you think we're going to regulate to 333 hertz? Nope. We are going to regulate to 333 minus, what did I say I was? 117? I think I said I was 77. 333. I'm going to say 44 because that's my favorite number, okay? So if I was at 44 hertz and he was at 33 hertz, and he was at 333 hertz, right? And I was at 44 hertz, we are going to meet at 289 divided by 2 plus 44. We're going to meet at 188.5 hertz. I'm actually going to lower Berkeley breathed the first time I meet him in the room. This is why witness is so crucial. This is why those who have who consider their witness valuable will purposely choose who they hang out with. Why? Because they know this is not where if you're 333 hertz, everyone regulates up to you. It'd be great, but actually it would suck at the same time. So what happens is that everyone meshes. There's a conglomerate. Is it exactly halfway? No. No, I'd say it's 1.618 of that. So let's do the math, right? So 188 times 2, let's see. 333 minus 44 equals 289 times 1.618. This is the golden ratio. Is 467. That's not right. Anyway, you guys can do the math. I would imagine that you probably will be higher to. I think it's going to depend on who is fluxing harder during that time, right? You can flux really hard at 44 hertz, and you can flux really hard at 333 hertz. What is fluxing like? Like really pushing that engine, right? You can really push that engine. But we regulate to each other, which is why we choose the company we have. When you're hiring someone to be in your business, you're literally creating the mean average of megahertz in the office by every hire you make. You can tweak this, right? You can do all kinds of things. You can tweak it. But that's really what's happening. So, by finding people that intimidate you, what happens to you naturally? What happens? Naturally, okay, first of all, if you can find people that intimidate you and alchemize that, if you can sit in the Faraday cage and feel you're fine, understand that all this is fine, even understand that all this is a privilege, right? Staying in that Faraday cage allows your capacitance, your musculature, increases, and you are no longer 44 hertz. After one day with Berkeley Breathed, I don't know if I would regulate back down to 44 hertz if I alchemized it. If I felt that I deserved meeting him, if I did not say that was pure chance, if I say it was fate that brought he and I together into the same room to share the same witness, all of those are me what? Animizing and claiming that hurts. I'm claiming that. And I get to claim as much as was given to me. As much as was given to me at that time is how much I can claim. And I can literally say, this is my new normal. This is my new average. And you leave with a prana economy where you are now in a deficit of hertz. And this is beautiful. Check this out. Because as soon as I said deficit, half of you left. You're like, oh my God, this is deficit. It must be horrible. We need to not see Berkeley Breathed. And this, you don't understand the power of deficit. Because all growth happens in deficit. Do no harm is do no growth. Cause deficit, cause growth. You open the wormhole. You open a wormhole inside your zygote, inside all of your cells. You open the wormhole. You've been doing this since you were born. Don't tell me you can't do it. But James, I have 3 trillion cells. There's no way I can tell them all what to do, but all 3 trillion of those cells were split from the same you. That very first one, you, the Elohim. They all came from you. They're all listening to you. And you accepting and owning and saying this is my new normal creates a deficit, and that deficit has no choice but to fill with what? Hertz, baby. Hertz. It fills with hertz. And that changes your entire transmission. Everything about you changes from that moment on. And it all happened because you regulated with someone that had a higher hertz than you. And when I say regulated, you truly owned, you deserved, you felt, you took solace in. And after you have these events, you tend to feel nervous. You tend to feel tired. If you do it right, you feel tired. If you do it right, you feel nervous. And when you do it right, you need to go home. You need to go home and kick your feet up and say, holy fuck, this is the new me. You need to go to bed early that night. You need to take extra care of yourself because you're allowing all of this to sit. This is the exact same exercise you do when you go to the gym and you bench press 250 for the first time. You're like, holy fuck. Did I just bench press 250? And you're looking around and you realize no one's telling you didn't because you just did it. What do? You go home and you rest. You rest because you're allowing all of this to sit in. You're establishing this new hertz. And the only way you're going to be able to hold this hertz, it's going to change your cosmology, it's going to change your politics, it's going to change the way you look at everything, including victimhood. And guess what? You're not going to be able to hang around certain people. You're not. You're going to find that it's too expensive to hang around those people. Why? Because when you go into them, they like that you regulated at 44 hertz, but now you're regulating at 188.5 hertz. So the first thing they're going to do is accuse you. J'accuse. The first thing they're going to do is crucify the fuck out of you. They're going to be intimidated by you and they're going to tear you down. I get this all the time in Telegram. Not all the time, but you see it in Telegram all the time. Someone doesn't feel comfortable with me in the room, so they think the way I will feel more comfortable is I will insult James with something that doesn't even fit. Guys, I want you to criticize me. You guys have some great fucking criticisms all the time. James, isn't saying being authentic, isn't that just a way of like attacking someone's words? Because isn't it impossible to not be authentic? And it's like, fuck yeah, man, that is a great comeback. Seriously, that's like a board to the face to me when I hear that the first time. Because it's like, boom, wow, that's really fucking astute. That's a great criticism. Let's do that. And what does that do? That's a regulation. Here we are in deficit. We don't agree on something, or you bring me something you don't disagree on. And guess what? We are both regulating. If anything, I give you more plasma when that happens. More. More because I say, wow, I never thought of it that way. And if someone who has 177 hertz says, wow, I never thought of it that way, and you are at 88 hertz and you're the one that told someone who is at a higher hertz that, wow, they never thought about it that way, you are claiming that higher hertz yourself. You are feeling worthy. And I get this all the time. Oh, James, thanks for letting me hang around or something. And I used to bitch slap those people and write them back and say, why are you cheapening your witness? But honestly, it happens too much now. I just stopped typing. I stopped typing because I realized even when I tell someone, hey, stop bitch slapping your witness, they feel like I'm attacking them. And when they feel like I'm attacking them, I'm not actually being a therapeutic for them. I'm not able to provide them with medicine because they are too busy insisting the medicine is bad. You're attacking me. You're attacking me. And that's fine. That's inflammation, energetic inflammation. And unless Hertz James would not see that, and I'd be like, oh no, they're just I just got to break through, man. And sometimes I still do that. Sometimes I do it too much. I was doing it to our wonderful Andy. I was doing that. I had such a clear vision of how I see something, and all of a sudden I saw myself in the mirror, and I was like, holy fuck, dude, you are manipulating the fuck out of him. You're telling him this, you're telling him this, you're telling him that. Just fucking back off, dude. This guy's flying. He's doing awesome. Why do you want to tell him how to fly when he's already flying? It's that kind of thing. And you know what allows me to have that compassion is my inability to worry what other people are going to think if I step out. It's fascinating to watch because the more sovereign you become, the more you become a scapegoat. It is unavoidable. The more sovereign you become, the more hurts you feel. The more hurts you feel, the more hurts you can capacitate. The more hurts you capacitate, the more people are intimidated around you because your witness is of molten steel. It's a molten lava that's floating in the fucking air, and it's like a giant orgasm on fire. And people are like, get the fucking fire orgasm out of my fucking sight. I can't handle this guy's witness. Fuck, can't we just be victims and slaves? And yes, you can. And I'm sorry for all the times that I insisted you couldn't be. Because I know how important that part is. I had the most beautiful discussion with Howdy Mikowski and Chad. And a younger me, a more immature, when I say younger, a lower hertz me, would have maybe taken the opportunity to debate my ideas more, to say, here's what I think about Howdy's ideals. Here's what I think about his cosmology. But there wasn't a point where I felt threatened by Howdy because James True is at a capacity where I can regulate with someone like Howdy and not feel threatened. It's not even necessarily have anything to do with Howdy. I could feel threatened by Howdy and Howdy could be the nicest person in the world. It wouldn't matter. If I don't have the hurts to hold him, I'm going to insist he's the one threatening me. Personally, when I look at Gnosticism, and I've looked at Gnosticism a long time. In fact, there was even a part in the debate where, not the debate, but in the discussion where Howdy had suggested that he's been through all this before, and now he's at Gnosticism. And it would have been an opportunity for me to say, well, wait a minute. I've been through the valley of Gnosticism too. This is not a new idea for me either. That my journey actually came from Gnosticism to here, just as Howdy is claiming that his journey led him through my position into Gnosticism. And I see most of the truthers who are adopting this idea of an archon that's here to torture us get very upset when I say that's not the case. When I insist to them that this world runs on consent, and that all the vitriol is caused by us, upon us, and it requires no sacred, invisible sky dragon. And I don't even mean that disparagingly, because to me, Gnosticism and Christianity, the reason why Gnosticism is the root of Christianity is because Gnosticism and Christianity are the same. You turn the archons into Satan, and it's the same story. And I don't know if people like Howdy, I don't know if people that got so upset at me insisting that the vorpal enemy of the archon was a ruse. That sort of thought is the only way you're going to get to this idea of Dojo Earth of Satan, being sensei. That's all I'm suggesting. The archon is sensei. And some of you will argue that there's certain forms of Gnosticism that do imply and do invigorate that. But if you look at the overall arching position of Gnosticism, in my humble opinion, it's more based on the fetishizing of the victimhood of it not being sensei. And that we feel comfort knowing that there's something here to torture us because it makes us feel better that we deserve evil upon us. And this is not a new idea. And so many of the audience that were watching the interview were insisting this was a new idea, and it's not. It's the oldest. Every single saint is famous for being tortured by an archon. Every single one. Whether they were flailed, whether they were crucified, whether they had their fingernails ripped out, whether they were burned, whether they were sold into slavery, whether their families were pierced with swords and then they were sold into slavery, whether they were drawn and quartered, whether they were all of the different tortures. Every saint you know is a saint because they were tortured, which means we venerate the tortured. We've always venerated the tortured. This is not a new thing. And this is why it unlocks the truth about victimhood. Victimhood is a religion because it helps you suffer with less hurts. You suffer at lower hurts. It is a scheme to cease all regulation to a higher vibration. And I don't think it's wrong. I personally think that Howdy is setting himself up for the biggest psychic spiritual win of his entire 200,000 year long genetic life. And the only way he can get there is through Joseph Campbell's journey, the fall, right? The fall requires the stoic. The rise requires the sovereign. Satan is the fall, Lucifer is the rise. Satan is the fall, Lucifer is the rise. If you do not want to rise, all you have to do is say Lucifer is bad. So if you do not want to rise, Satan is the fall. Oh, Satan, oh, you've made me fall. You're so bad. And Lucifer, oh, Lucifer's a trick. We can't raise. Lucifer's a trick. God's gonna punish us if we raise up because Lucifer's a trick. That is a fetish. It's BDSM. And it's the oldest fetish I've ever seen in every religion combined. It is the oldest. It is at the heart of female genital mutilation and male genital mutilation. It is at the heart of us wearing silk slave ties. It is at the heart of us pretending that we were never slaves to begin with, when literally the word comes from the word white dude who used to not be able to afford his own shoes and would literally say, enslave me if I can have some fucking socks. Just reading the chat here. It's good stuff. I'm contemplating. I'm not repeating. I think it's. I think my office is me regulating to the architecture around me. That I'm doing my best to raise myself up. And in Telegram today, I got into a little skirmish with this guy that's just been really been lowering the vibe, in my opinion. And I know going into it, if I'm going to stick his nose in his own shit, that I'm going to get rebuked for it. And then I'm going to make other people uncomfortable. They're going to be like, James, why are you being a bully? Come on, James, be nicer to #_. Be nicer to him and all that stuff. And even that is part of your budget. All of us have a certain budget. It's no different than a corporation that decides, you know what, I'll just we'll just settle certain cases if they're under a certain amount, just to keep us in a nice breathing atmosphere. want to remind everyone that a giant tree fell here, 2 of them. Thanks, witches. Freaking love that. And I was worried about that second tree. It was so big. I was worried how much it was going to cost, how much trouble it was going to be to get rid of that thing. It had to go because it hadn't landed on the ground yet. It was precariously like suspended above the air. And it was one of those things where I knew if I could just not worry about it right now, just let it go. Instead, if I wanted to vent, I could have called them. I could have gotten into a huge fight. I already was disillusioned by their insurance company. Owner and I were still in good terms, but the insurance company, wow, that guy was a fucking tool. He had the same thing. I don't want to regulate to the idea that homeowner's policy could be responsible for a tree that hit your house. You clearly don't know how insurance works. And I'm like, dude, it's literally the definition of homeowner's insurance. If someone gets hurt because of your home, because of your property, right? There's insurance for it. So stop telling me that this is a whole new concept that I'm asking. What are you going to do about this giant tree that fell in my yard? Anyway, all that aside, I was like, wow, this is really stressing me out. I'm looking at my radars. I don't even have room for this. I don't even have budget for this. So just let it go. And yesterday, this giant crane shows up out of nowhere and just removes the tree. Just takes care of it. Fucking great. Now, if I was at lower hertz, I would say that was a miracle coincidence. Or I would attribute it to something else. But when you have a high enough hertz, you're looking to regulate as much as you can, so you start to give yourself credit for stuff like that. And guess what? It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It doesn't. All that matters is if you believe it. If you believe this stuff, you enter into the torque of it. When you start to sit down and play a song, and you don't even know what you're going to play. If you relied on the fact that rationally, that analytically you have no idea what's about to come out, you're going to suck. But if you believe that something's going to come out, if you believe it hard enough, what do? You start playing. It's the essence of every single artistic skill we have, including being authentic. But James, what'd you say about? No, see, there's the thing. Here's the thing. I never actually meant inauthentic as insult. I meant inauthentic as there's a facade and there's you. I don't think they're the same. I don't know which. None of us get to decide which one's real. Only you get to know that. And you get to know that. You don't get to tell us. We don't have to even believe it. You get to decide which one of you is real. Your facade or the thing behind your facade. If you are authentic, that means that you and your facade are indistinguishable. You're having a really hard time distinguishing them. And I don't even think that's healthy. I think you should wear clothes. I think you should. Is being naked authentic? Not necessarily, but I'm saying if you were to push authenticity to the same way we push everything else, where we pretend like the only way to do this is to be vegan about it, right? And be like vegan authentic. You know that all those vegans will be walking around with no clothes on. And they'd be like, well, I'm being authentic, right? It's all of us are going to have our artistic interpretation over what these words mean. Which one serves you best? I don't give a shit which one's right. Like, let me rephrase that. I don't give a shit which one is socially considered the most factual or which one Wikipedia tells you is correct. I only care which one serves you the most. What is wrong with living your life where you literally try on beliefs every morning and you just see which one fits? The only thing stopping you from that is trusting your own moral compass. If you don't trust your moral compass, you're not going to be able to do that. You know why? You're going to meet a Jewish girl with a waterbed, and instead of going to college, you were just going to slang, like bang, slosh, bang, schlang, bosh. You're just going to bosh all day. You're not going to be in Econ 101 at 10 a.m. Why would you go there? Why would you go there? Right? That's a torque of belief I tried. Well, maybe I can fuck my way out of college. Maybe I can have so much sex that I will just get all A's. It did not work for me. Some of you, right? Maybe if I slept with the econ teacher, maybe. You know, I didn't think about these things back then. Maybe I should have thought about that. I don't know. But the point is that you try these beliefs on and you see, does it work? if it works, do you realize that if it works used to be a form of truth? It still is. The concept is called utilitarianism. It was actually a branch of American philosophy. Most of us in America don't even learn American philosophy. We get sold this hypothetical crap that everything's hypothetical. American philosophy is more based on what makes the body feel. What makes the body feel is real. What makes the body disappear is illusion. The romance, the naturalism, right? Thoreau. This is American philosophy. This is philosophy based on the smell of the wind. It's based on the grit of the dirt. It's vistas over mountains, lakes on top of mountains, on top of other vistas. It's the movement. It's the senses. It's the zetetic essence of reality itself. That was truth. And none of us even know that was even a possibility. You're like, whoa. You're telling me that the definition of truth is what works? And I'm like, I'm telling you that's what utilitarianism is. Another word for that is called pragmatism. You can look it up. And who would have thought that the word pragmatism could be something so positive, but yet it is. Do you know why it's positive? Because you're in your body. Do you know why it's positive? Because you accept that vitriol feels good. You accept that when you find yourself in the shadow of someone with a higher hertz than you and they are intimidating you, that it feels good. Do you realize that if you were to stand under a waterfall, you could feel as if the waterfall was attacking you, or you could feel as if the waterfall was turning you into the Highlander quickening and raising you up as a god? You get to feel either one. And as someone said in Chad's comment the other day, yeah, James is such a Lucifer. He said that he was a sex god in a cave. And at first I was like, wow, that guy actually really thought that I meant that, which is kind of, now that I think about the Jewish girl, we were in the basement. It was the very bottom floor. And there definitely was some stalactites in there, if you know what I'm saying, right? Stalagmites, right? Right? Yep. Sometimes stalactites. Sometimes I climb on the ceiling, do a little World Wrestling Federation boshing going on. But, so yeah. So yeah, I was a sex god trapped in a cave. Wow, that actually happened. That was cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I was a sex god trapped in a cave. I totally forgot my original point. But you guys get it. Yeah. Anyway. Ooh la la vitriol. That's right. Voldemort would be proud. Oh, yes. Sometimes I wonder if Voldemort ever catches wind of these live streams. I would imagine she does not watch, but I do wonder every now and then if she catches word of these. James tosses a good word salad. Thank you. Intuition. Nice. We got an airship in 25 minutes. You guys coming? If you want, you can come. We can talk more about this stuff. So level up. Sit in the waterfall. Think about it. Next time you're in the shower, see if you can actually adjust your posture just as an experiment to where the water feels like torture. And you have this. When last night I went out, it's snowing, and last night it was raining, but the rain turned to snow, and I was cooking on the grill, and I knew before I went outside, I was like, man, I'm going to cook on the grill. And the first thing I knew is, oh man, I can feel those cold raindrops hitting my shoulders right now. I can feel them. And sometimes I will face them, and sometimes I will nurture myself and say, oh, I'm going to put on a winter coat so I don't get any raindrops on my shoulder. Like, both are magic, right? Both are my torques of belief. If I was to say, if I was a man, I wouldn't wear a jacket. And I've done that. I've literally taken off my shirt before because I felt like I was a bitch and I wanted to level up, and I knew, hey, it's raining. I'm going to take off my shirt when I take the garbage out. Why? Because I caught myself dreading the raindrops. Do you understand how this works? Have fun with yourself. Have fun with yourself. Turn to page 4. On the inset on page 4, you're going to see a diagram about how to have fun with yourself. I want us all to take position 5, please. Please take position 5. Yep, okay. Guys, we're going to ask you to pull out your stalagmites now and place them on your desk. Okay, great. And then You notice that position 6 looks a little bit wonky with the way it's drawn, but if you just imagine it as if you're front stage, center left, that all of this should make sense. Just be careful down there. There are 2 holes, gentlemen, 2 holes. You need to be very careful about what's happening. So just take your time down there. There's no wrong answers, guys. There's only lacks of apologies, okay? There's no wrong answers down there. There's just simple lack of apology, okay? If you spelunk into the wrong, actually it's called speleologically, yeah. If you speleologically go into the wrong cavern, just know you have plenty of oxygen because you have your spare tank and you laid a line and you can just simply follow the arrows out, okay? All right. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Those of you new, please understand this is actually not very normal. Sometimes we have presentations on this show, do a lot of slides, right? Do a lot of things like that. This is not one of those shows. I would also like to introduce the idea of somehow creating a James True primer. Some of you are new to my work. This is probably the worst way to get to know me today. I'm just feeling a little bit spunky. And so, yeah, good luck with that. But if you can hang on, I swear we will get back to work. We will get back to things like that. I hope that you've enjoyed enjoyed this show regardless. So some of you homeschool your kids and you think that my content is good verbal gymnastics for them, and I just want you to know that I am deeply, deeply sorry about any problems I might have caused you with this episode today. So just to say that, yeah. And please come tonight to High Magick 9 to 11. I think you'll enjoy the discussion. I'm looking forward to it. And if you haven't checked out the interviews with Chad over at Open Your Reality, I really encourage you checking those out. I think there's been like 4? Is it 4? And not only has there been like 4 or 3 or 4, but Chad is actually Chad and I wrote after the thing, and I congratulated him. I think he did a great job as mod, by the way. Like really good job. And he mentioned the idea of me maybe coming back, so I told him I'd love to do that, and it's great. And so you can, so I encourage you to check that out. So you have three things of homework, right? Subscribe to Chad's channel, Open Your Reality. Subscribe to Mo's channel, and check out our interview. And subscribe to High Magick so you won't miss us tonight. And but found splitting. Yeah, I think it's called speleological. Just so you know, if you guys speleological. I think the International Speleological Society is a group dedicated to cave diving, muff diving. Cave diving. It's a sport. It's very, it was almost an Olympic sport, I think, at one time. But, so in college, I majored in speleological work. So, all right, I hope you guys... Oh, Dylan's channel is a great channel to subscribe to. Yeah, I definitely recommend that. Dylan's been putting out some good tunes. Really great video, too, on top of the tunes, by the way. Can we get a link to Dylan in there, too? Dylan's going to be bringing us some music at 5.5. By the way, the $88 tickets sold out. They're gone. The only way you can get a ticket now is to pay $99. And $99 is a huge deal because these are going to be $144 once the time comes. So what's Dylan's? Thank you, Tides of Truth. Someone's going to give you Dylan's there any minute now. And so please do that. I'm going to wait until Dylan's link gets in there. Only so then after that, I'm going to post, because I don't have Dylan's channel right here. But if you want to get one of those $99 tickets, because those are limited too. This is a stair step. We're stair stepping you out, right? Hey, little Dan, yeah. I can have my moments of being embarrassed for sure. Oh, I'm embarrassing myself. Oh, okay. It's hard to understand your cryptic language. I figured out what you're serious or not for you guys who speak English. Dan, hi James. I connected just a few minutes ago, and I see that there's not big traffic here, so I wanted to say you're a very interesting character. I'm not regularly attending to your flock, but I do always appreciate your perspective. Well, thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. That was over on Rockfin. Good to see you guys. Glad you guys are there. And let me make sure that we got a link to Dylan's. You guys should definitely. So, no Dylan yet? Is that it? I bet you that. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like Shiva. No, wait. Yeah, Lunar Medicine Show. That's it. Lunar Medicine Show. Thank you. You guys subscribe to the Lunar Medicine Show? There's got to be more links. Thomas, we got to get your link in here. Sark, we got to get your link in here. There's so much good talent here, including Andy. Anyone who's like, oh, James left the group because he's just like, yeah, okay, dude. Including Andy. I love what you guys are doing. So now you got all that. Here is how you get a ticket for $99. Right there. You can get a ticket for Rhode Island. If you don't know what that is, we're doing a live show live in Rhode Island with the Vitriol Orchestra. Yeah, we have a Vitriol Orchestra. And you can get to see us in Rhode Island. You should come check it out. It's going to be awesome. Rosetown Productions. Let's see. Oh, Thomas, if I make you a mod. Oh crap! It won't let me let you make you a mod here. Can other mods make you mod? We need to get Thomas's link in here. Yeah, much love to you, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the support. I really appreciate you guys. Rosetown Productions. I'm gonna see if I can find that link here real quick. And we're gonna be signing out here because I'm gonna pour a cup of coffee for the there it is, Rosetown Productions. Here it is. Guys, come on. We need to get, this man deserves so much more subscribers than this. Here. Okay, great. Mirrored Moth got it too. There it is, great. Did you invite Chad to your talk in May? Great question, Chloe. We haven't, but here's the thing. We purposely haven't of course, Stern Wanderer, and I appreciate and respect what you're doing. You weren't in the chat today, but Dick Cheese said that I left your group because he hurt my feelings, and I just want you to know, no, I left the group because I feel like I'm trying to manipulate you into not doing a pirate radio station, and I just check myself and say, James, stop fucking with some dude's it's his airship. It's his airship, that's all. So, but I even when I did that, Andy, I was like, I didn't think you would mischaracterize that. I did kind of think maybe someone would mischaracterize it, but I just don't give a shit. Like, people are going to fucking have an idea. They're going to think I'm Jewish for years. If you guys don't know, the Jewish girl thought I was Jewish for 2 or 3 years while we were dating. And thought I was embarrassed about it, so she never brought it up. And all because I made a joke about pork once. Like, it was something like, do you eat meat? And I was like, well, I mean, I'm Jewish or something. It was like a really dumb passing joke. And she decided that since I never brought it up again and that I celebrated Christmas, I was a secret underground Jew. Many of the people who read my work accuse me of the same thing, by the way. Just saying. Just saying. I just think it's fascinating. By the way, I would love to hear if anyone disagrees with this. This is my final thought. It's actually kind of a deep one. People were asking today, such a great question. I think it was Trey. Hey, what could anyone think of the oldest form of, I'm sorry, can anyone think of a time when the Jews were accepted? When was a time where the Jews were accepted? And, we can use the word accepted really loose there, but I just mean if you look at their strife. And if anyone calls this anti-Semitic, I remind you that most of the Jews have built the ADL on the fact that they don't feel accepted. So it's kind of hard for you to say that this is anti-Semitic. This is literally the most pro-Semitic thing you could say, is that they weren't accepted. But when you look back, I want you to realize something pretty profound. The oldest traces that I can find, but I would love it if someone corrected me, but the oldest traces that I can find of Jews really comes from the tribe of Shazu. And the tribe of Shazu was written as a wandering tribe of slaves who had no master. And these wandering tribes of slaves were like locusts. I'm not kidding. They would come in to a kingdom, say Egypt, and eat it alive. Cannibalize the entire thing. Under the auspice of them being slaves. They were literally asking, can you please enslave us? And the master's like, sure, come on in. I'll give you shoes. Because keep in mind, slavery is a necessary thing we need to become conscious, to become sovereign. We actually utilize slavery. And that there was a group of these slaves that were horrible at being slaves. Do you realize how bad of a slave you have to be if the master buys you and still excommunicates you? And I want you to consider that the Exodus, where the story is that let my people go, Pharaoh, was actually more about the Pharaoh saying, you guys are unsustainable. I cannot utilize your talents as slaves. You guys are undermining everything. Get the fuck out. And that's what the Exodus was. It wasn't this Pharaoh insisting that they stay. No. It was the opposite. And here's my three reasons, three reasons why James True says this is true. Number one, boom, pyramids are not mentioned in the Bible. Number two, Adam and Eve, direct ripoff of Amun and Amunet, right from Karnak. Evidence three, boom, the tabernacle in the wilderness, right? Solomon's temple, the Ark of the Covenant. All of those things were direct ripoffs of Luxor Temple. There literally is a Holy of Holies inside Luxor Temple. It's called the Chapel of the Heart. Locusts came in, cannibalized Pharaoh, took all of his esoteric knowledge, took it to the desert, claimed it as their own, branded it as the tabernacle, and didn't tell a word. Hid the entire thing from everybody. Now, before we go down, well, let's fucking burn some crosses and have a freaking Holocaust, I want you to hear that I believe this is how bonsai works. This episode is going to get so fucking... This could be a warning. Who knows? I don't know how the AI is going to read this because I'm trying to be nice. If it was not for Cain being broken, none of this would have happened. Do you realize that the Jewish were always rejected because they were rejected genetically on purpose? That we said, we do not want your sacrifice. Your sacrifice is nowhere near as honorable as Abel, is how you break a soul. And what happens when you break a line like that? It has no choice but to become sovereign. Or it can die. So it has a choice. Be sovereign or die. And the very first scapegoat was the Jew because we pushed them into sovereignty. And how do we push them into sovereignty? We said, hey, Jew, we want you to take over our lending because we think lending is only dirty work. And anyone that would lend money is a dirty Jew. So please, this is definitely going to get booted. But enjoy this episode while you can right now. And so we want you to be in charge of loan. We want you to be in charge of porn. We want you to be in charge of Hollywood. We want you to be in charge of the sickest industries that we can find, which is literally us pushing them into sovereignty. We're giving them control. We're giving them more wealth. We are insisting that they be sovereign. This is at the heart of the Freemasons being linked to Jewish. If you think about it, what is the idea? The Mason says, I take the stone that was rejected. I will hewn the rejected stone. And it is from the rejected stone that we build the church. It is only from the rejected stone that we come up with sovereignty. That's why Freemasonry and Jewish are so aligned. The very second scapegoat that we all had collectively after the Jew was the Freemason. Why? Because they were sovereign. And we have our fetish for slavery, so we will castigate and scapegoat anyone that doesn't want slavery or that has come out of slavery. That's literally what's happened. Anyway, that's all I got. I lost a lot of you right here. 139. Was it my Jew talk? Was I telling you too much about the Jews? Was that it? We'll probably never see each other after this show. I mean, like on this show is what I mean. But I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what they'll say? But yeah, we got 9 minutes to airship, so we'll see you then. I gotta go let the let the snake out and, ride the snake for a little bit. I gotta go pee is what I'm trying to say. You guys take care. We'll see you next time. Just pull it before you get a strike. I don't know. I feel like the moment I pull it, Adrian, is the moment I give up. I haven't had a strike. I don't have a strike right now. If it's a strike, it's a strike. But that's why you should see if you guys would have subscribed to all those other channels. Then a strike wouldn't have meant much, would it? Would it? That's right. Ooh, Esoteric Journey next Saturday on the new moon, 11 a.m. That show's coming back. Pretty excited about that. Thank you, Amanda. And I'm going to play the outro now. And I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for witness. Hope you enjoyed mine. Hope you enjoyed these little Friday 13th insights. Hope to see you tonight at 9 p.m. Sue, if you're still listening, I love you. I bet you're probably low on herb and working on that. And we will see you later. You guys have a beautiful day. Yeah. Tell me where to go. Is this better? Tell me lost in the night. I'm just kidding.